In the fields where the earth meets the sky, cassava plants stand tall, their roots delving deep into the soil, drawing sustenance from the land. Cassava, known as the queen of crops, is a beacon of hope to many farmers, providing nourishment and prosperity to communities around the world. Let's quickly evaluate the financial means of this crop right here. So the financial outline goes thus. Firstly, we have the selection and cost of a field. Depending on the scale of production you intend to go with in cassava farming, if it's large or small scale farming, so your cost of selection should be primary. The next is the cost of slashing or weeding. Depending on the type of land you have first acquired, is it the land that requires slashing or weeding? How much will it cost you to pay for such services? Depending on the scale. The third is deciding the type of herbicide and cost. The herbicide here depends on the land. There are land that don't need herbicide, but there are other lands which need herbicide. So you need to evaluate the cost. The next is the cost of weeding and harvest. You might want to know how much will it cost me to weed in the course of farming. Yeah, what's the cost of weeding the farm after planting? This is a point people fail to note, but it's a very prime point for everybody to understand because it brings out how your profitability will look like. And lastly, we have expected revenues. For planting all these, you might want to know what your revenue is, your expected revenues. So this is the cost outline we are going to be studying on cassava farming for all those willing to invest in such farming. Note that cassava produces one of the African delicacy known as fufu, used both by homes which are very poor and the rich community at large. So as we delve into the depths of cassava potential, we uncover a treasure trove of possibilities from the roots of cassava plants, from its medicinal use, in the use of fabrics, textile to biofuel. Cassava has shown its diversity in all walks of life. But how much does it cost to start this farming? This is what all the videos are about. So please subscribe and let's dive directly into it. The first is selection and cost of a field, depending on the amount you want to invest. Where we are dealing with $0 to $50 for this investment. The first is forest vegetation, very cheap to acquire. With just $20, you can acquire an acre of land, and to pay for the clearing for you to access the land could cost just between $5 to $15. Yes, quite affordable. The second is the grass vegetation. This is a land that has already been exploited, and so the cost is slightly above that of the forest vegetation. It is quite expensive here, but not that expensive because having an acre of land here could cost in between $30 to $50. Well, it's also good because it avoids the cost of you clearing. The second is cost of seeds or cassava stems. Cassava is typically propagated through stem cutting. Cut healthy stems into 15 to 20 centimeters, so they say. Yes, but note that the cost here is quite expensive. Why? If you are already a cassava farmer, there's no need buying the stems. And if you are to buy the stem, it costs as cheap as from $1 to $5. So there is nothing stopping you from actually acquiring. So we are cutting the stems here into 15 to 20 centimeter pieces with at least 3 to 4 knots. Plant the cutting at a spacing of about 1 meter to 1 meter. So it depends on you. How far do you want to go with? This is a modern method, but a traditional method of us using our cutlasses and just cutting the stems of 15 to 20 centimeters, making sure they have 3 to 4 knots is quite profitable. And nuts also, it is something you could do with little or no investment when you already have the land. So let us continue to turn to our cassava fields with care and passion. Let us celebrate the resilience of this crop. So this is the part 1 of the video. Stay tuned to part 2, and I would advise you to subscribe so that you don't miss out for it.